Who is coming for us? Hello, Hagerstown Church of Jesus. This is Pastor Sam St. Fard. And again, I'm having to shoot a video for the ministries that are not going to be able to be meeting together. We've got some symptoms again showing up in one of the members. So we just want to be safe, make sure everybody is secure and healthy. But our preteens and teens will be meeting together. They're all clear. They're all doing well. So Aaron St. Fard is going to be leading his group, the preteens and teens, and then David Hose is going to be joining up with them, linking up with them. He's our singles leader. But as for the rest of us, the matureds and the marrieds, we have another video to watch this week. And again, like I said, I'm Sam St. Fard, the pastor of the Hagerstown Church of Jesus of Hagerstown, Maryland. And we are a Waypoint Church Partners independent Christian church. And today my question is and was, who's coming for us? Who's coming to save us? So I want to wrap and go back in time. I believe I did this last week. We talked about, we stripped away all of religion. We stripped away all of anything between when God first formed man and then formed woman, and where that was, the relationship that existed at that time. And that was it. It was just, God just created us because he loved us so much. And he wanted to love into beings that he made in his image. So he made man and woman. And it was as simple as that. And you know, it is still as simple as that. It's not complicated. What makes it complicated is us, our temptations, our desires. Frankly, our willing and wanting to be God in our own lives rather than letting him be God for our lives. So in Genesis chapter 3, it opens up by saying, and the serpent was more crafty than all the other wild animals living in the garden. And he has a conversation with the woman. And eventually it leads to the woman eating from the forbidden fruit, the fruit from the one tree in the middle of the garden they were not to eat from, the knowledge of good and evil. And then the man also ate from it. And it says that their eyes were opened and they saw that they were naked. And the metaphor here is that in their nakedness prior to their knowledge of good and evil, nakedness was not anything that they as a married couple should be ashamed of. It was innocent. It was a gift for them from God in their marriage. But when they turned against God by disobeying him, that's when they found their nakedness to be something they had to cover up, even being a married couple. And that indicated shame, it indicated guilt. And that's what it entered the world, sin, disobedience to God. So when God came looking, when you read the account, he came looking for the man, not the woman. He came looking for the man, and in the cool of the day, it says, and the man finally answered him and let him know, I hid because I was naked. And God asked him, well, how did you know you were naked? Did you eat from the tree I had told you not to eat from? The man immediately said, the woman you gave me. So God asked the woman, what have you done? And she explained that this is what I did, but the serpent deceived me and tempted me. And I bit. I actually sinned. At that point, God lets them know the consequences of that disobedience. It goes down a list, to the woman, your childbearing will be in pain, and to the man, you will work the soil and it won't produce fruit for you. And then you will die. you will return to the soil from which you came. Serpent, you will crawl on your belly all the rest of your days. And someday, in the future, the woman's offspring will crush your head with his heel. And that was a prophecy about Jesus coming and conquering death for all of eternity that God had put right there in the consequences of what happened. But then the final thing was, and you can see it in what it says, let us not let man stay here, because if he eats of the tree of life, he will be just like us and will be immortal. Us. Now, in John chapter 1, in verse 1, Jesus' best friend clearly declares that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. He was God, and he was with God in the beginning. So who's this us in Genesis chapter 3? Well, according to John chapter 1, this us is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Father, creator, Holy Spirit, communicator, and the Son, Jesus of Nazareth, who would not set foot on this earth for another thousands of years. But here's the key. When Adam and Eve were banished from the Garden of Eden, they were separated from God, experienced spiritual death, and then physical death. Entropy began to enter into this world, meaning that everything would decay, everything would fall apart, and eventually death, physical death. So what's the answer? How do we avoid it? Well, physical death can never be avoided, but spiritual death, life that is eternal. Jesus said it this way. The night before he died on the cross, the Apostle Thomas asked him, Lord, you just said that you know the way for us to get to heaven. But how do we know the way? And Jesus, having been there in the beginning of all creation, gave him the only answer that any human being could give, anyone could ever give in all of history. And this was in AD 30, the year 30. He said, I am the way, and I am the truth, and I am the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. Listen closely. Jesus is saying, I was there when Adam and Eve had to leave the garden, and I'm back because the only way they can ever, them or you or anybody, can get back to God in a right relationship with God is through me, his Son, who has been there from the beginning. This is important. Our faith can only be in Jesus. And if we put our faith in anything else or believe in anyone else than Jesus, then we have chosen to be duped and to believe what the serpent, what the devil, what Satan wants us to believe. But our only shot is Jesus himself, because he is truly and genuinely the only way, and it's because it's been that way from the beginning. So here at the Hagerstown Church, we want to invite you. We want you to watch our vlogs, watch our sermons, and when we can get back together safely, come and visit. No question is turned away. We will have open dialogue, and we want you to feel safe. to get to know Jesus, because we are not about religion here. We are about relationships. We love you, and I pray for you, and have a great rest of your day.